Deep in the infocrypts of Jovius, Curator Albus Tattersall oversees the maintenance and legibility of ancient scrolls and data slates alike. You stand before the aged adept and inquire about the forbidden lore that has been hidden away from the common man. These are the stories that Data Vault 13b houses. To those stellar cartographers that recognize the planet of Jovius to be situated in the Rubicon subsector, will understand my trepidation when I say that this next character study hits awfully close to home. The defining event of the Askellon Sector, aside from its founding, is the Vaxi Atrocity. This ominous event was not orchestrated by some traitor to the Imperium, some insidious Xenos race, or a demonic incursion from the Sea of Souls. It was, in fact, the Ordo Hereticus of the Inquisition, instigated by veteran witch hunter Lord Spiron Hark. Lord Hark's suspicions lay primarily with the Askellon nobility regarding its mysterious connection to the Pandemonium, the warp phenomena surrounding the Askellon Sector. It was Lord Hark that summoned a conclave of fellow Inquisitor to the planet of Nishal Oblitia, a world on the edge of the Askellon Sector, chosen for its remoteness. The conclave met at the Oblitia Cathedra, where Lord Hark, resplendent in his black and gold power armor and crimson cloak, recited baleful stanzas from his Book of Ashes and demanded that action was taken to investigate the corruption in the sector nobility and purge it if necessary. Those inquisitors that opposed the veteran witch hunter were noted to have done so not because they disagreed with Lord Hark, but because they simply wished to stifle his ascendancy in the ranks of the Inquisition, showing one of the greatest weaknesses and strengths of the Ordos, that being rampant factionalism. As the conclave dragged on, recriminations and accusations so severe they could not be withdrawn without substantial loss of face were exchanged, and the bad blood that had accumulated over the decades spilled over into outright hostilities. Lord Spiron Hark was an ardent Puritan and a bombast to boot, which had engendered him many rivals and enemies over his long and illustrious career, but all seemed lost when Lord Hark gathered his allies and retinue and set out for the inner Askellon worlds. Gesturing empathically with his signature two-handed power sword, he declared to the assembled Inquisitors that he would have the truth, one way or the other, and with or without the blessings of those opposed to his directions, as the following attests to. Askellon may indeed be doomed, but when it slips into the pits of damnation, be it this very night or 1,000 years hence, that doom must not be allowed to engulf the greater domains of the Imperium. You know how such death throes form gateway through which the legions of the Abyss march forth. This we shall not allow. You must act now against the lords of this sector, and burn them all. And with that, the race was on. Inquisitors from all factions and ideologies declared for one side or the other as they plunged headlong into the Rubicon subsector. Gathering whatever military arms of the Imperium they could find, the Inquisitor used their rights to call on any citizen or servant of the Imperium with great abandon. Entire Astromilitari musters were absconded aboard system defense fleets of the Imperial Navy. This sweep across Rubicon has left the subsectors in such perilous state that it has yet to recover fully to this day. Curator's side note: if cartographers could stop using the name Rubicon, that would be grand. Perhaps then people will stop crossing them. Anyone with a passing interest in the ancient Romani will no doubt find this jest to be hilarious. With the might of the Imperium at their disposal, did the Inquisition go to war with itself, and entire worlds burned for it, which is in and of itself not unusual. What was unusual was the response to this invasion that seemingly came out of nowhere, when the Lords of Juno had a rude awakening to this internecine war. The sector prefect at the time was Lord Vinjed Romanov VII, who used the full extent of his power to gather what Imperial Guard regiments it remained on the planet of Vaxi, along with the rimward border of Rubicon. This is where accounts get hazy. The sector prefect sent out a message that began as a warning to the invaders, but soon turned into an outright confession of heresy. Savants have debated whether Lord Romanov's message was supposed to have been sent out at all, or if he was caught in the grip of some madness, or worse. But it was too late after every astropathic choir on the capital world of Juno had broadcasted this message across the entire sector, in what amounted to full-blown secession from the Imperium. This had the effect of unifying the entire inquisitorial war effort in forces of such magnitude that had not been seen since the Macarian Crusade descended on the world of Vaxi as millions of troops clashed. The combined forces massacred the defenders in a crusade so bloody none were spared. Every single warrior on Vaxi was punished for the crimes of Lord Romanov VII, either slain in battle or burned in mass pyres as tall as warlord titans. As the ashes settled, did Inquisitor Hark call for a parley, and soon were the most influential figures in the Askellon Sector standing before each other on a plain of scattered bones and ash. Seeing that destruction wrought, they unanimously agreed that such infighting could never happen again. What words passed between this august group were not recorded by any adept, but it led to a mass exodus for many members of the Askellon Inquisition. Ever since, there have been multiple theories attempting to explain this horrific and confusing turn of events, anything from secretive orders pulling strings from the shadows to demonic possession. All that I can say for certain is that this goes a long way to explain the lack of Inquisitors in the Askellon Sector, at a time they are sorely needed.